Good morning and what's going on? Welcome to another Subie Shave video. We had a beautiful day. Hashtag Team All Blade and hashtag No Blade Left Behind. Come on in, throw me a Subie smile, and all I gotta say is squad goals. Thank you for being here, for clicking in today's video, and for joining me. Hopefully wherever you're watching from, you've got something cold in your hand, you're sitting in a comfy chair, and you're ready for a shave. Today we've got just over 72 hours of stubble, just over 3 days of growth, and we're gonna be knocking it down and doing a battle, and I'm so excited because it's one I've been dying to do. We're gonna be talking about the YAQI TORQX razor and comparing it against the Rex Konsul razor. I am absolutely thrilled to have both of these razors kind of on deck today to showcase, spotlight, and do a side-by-side, because I've been asked a bunch of times, how do these two razors compare? Is the YAQI TORQX, the brand new slant adjustable stainless steel razor, really all that different and you know, worth chasing compared to the Konsul if you already have this razor by Razor Emporium? Matt's Konsul razor, right, it really defined kind of a new generation of stainless steel slant razors, and then we saw kind of Home-like and other brands kind of chasing the same concept, and that today is being displayed with the YAQI TORQX. I love this razor, and today we're going to be shaving with them just over on 4.5 on the setting to kind of do a very similar side-by-side in comparison, and I'm thrilled to have you here for it. If you've been waiting for this shave and you're excited about the slant battle, go below, let me know in the comments. It's one I've been dying to do, and I keep getting requests from people that follow our channel to do a side-by-side. So here we go. This is for all of you out there that are curious about how these two slants compare. It's going to be phenomenal. We're also going to be talking about a scent that I got sent over by Andy over at the wet shaving store. We got El Magico. This is a scent that's coming from their Essential line, right? This is a soap that's being perfumed and created by Elysian Soaps. Shannon Constantine is the one responsible for developing and kind of building this scent profile. It's cedarwood, it has cardamom, are the two top notes. That's what they want you to smell. But then it has lavender and oak moss. And I want to call that out because when I first cracked this tub open, right, this tub, the first thing that I smelled was kind of a floral note, and I was like, that's kind of weird, from cardamom. And it's actually the lavender oak moss. It's very present in the scent, and it's actually quite nice. It's very balanced. It's very, I would say it's one of those ones that it draws you in, and as you smell it, you get more out of it. It does take a minimalistic, like very simplistic approach to the actual fragrance oils, right? There's not all that much in this, but that doesn't mean there's not a lot going on, right? The transformation, it's all about transformation and success. That's what this little wand means, right? It's all about, growing and changing into something else. And I think that's really something that speaks to my heart. Something I really appreciate is not just, starting successful, but the growth and kind of the journey it takes to get to become successful and to have something that's worth showing, right? Anything that just appears overnight, right? It may be magic, but it's not as I wouldn't say it's impressive or as something that you can really display. It's something that you took you years to grow and develop. And I love that about this scent. It's bold. It's supposed to speak to those that are chasing success, and I like that a lot. Now, for me, I think cedarwood and cardamom are almost like the backbone to a lot of scents that are like soaps and things that you would use in your shower, but I don't think they typically are used as the baseline profile for a scent. And because of that, I think it's unique. I get this really beautiful woody tone. Like I said, the oak moss is there. It fits very well with the cedarwood. You see that combo quite often. But then this lavender note is there, and it does give it kind of a floral, nice, like kind of a different like scent profile that from this standard stereotypical soapy clean smell. I like this one a lot. Again, El Magico, chasing success and the journey to get there. Beautiful scent from Andy over at the wet shaving store and Shannon Constantine of Elysian Soaps. I think this is really awesome, and I love seeing them put their heads together to create kind of an essential soap line, right? I want to call this out because the price on this is phenomenal. It's at $17.99, and when you're looking at shave soaps, right, that range from all the way down to the $10 range, all the way up to $30, $40, it's nice to see something that's in the middle and that I think is very budget appropriate. And the lather today, I can tell you this, you're going to get a lot out of that soap tub. Take a look here. I am not kidding you. That is the shave soap we got. Look at this stuff. It is wiggly, it is thick, it is rich, it is hydrated. You can just see this stuff. It is very dense this time around, but I'm telling you this, it's slick and it's got a ton of water in there. The water band on this shave soap is quite good. I've been playing around with it. I've had a couple shaves now with their Essentials line brand. This stuff is awesome. I can run it really dense and thick and still get quite a bit of hydration out of it, or I can run it really runny and really slick, and both work. Both seem to provide quite a bit of good protection, and they also give my skin a lot of hydration. I want to call that out because they're using coconut and they're using a clay. They're using a couple different ingredients to really maximize the slickness. Look at that. Look at this stuff. Awesome, awesome shave soap from Andy over the Wet Shaving Store. It is available, and it is definitely something. If you're looking to explore the different options in the shave craft, right? I think this offers a very easy and approachable way to smelling something that's gonna, really pop. All right, let's get in here. Let's start some shaving and let's start some discussing about both of these phenomenal stainless steel safety razors that are built based on the slant mechanism, right? The mechanism that it works as a guillotine through your stubble, right? Cuts it at the angle so it gets you close. It's supposed to last longer as far as the shave quality, right? It's supposed to last a little longer. And it's supposed to shave through really hard stubble, really stiff hard stubble, and do it without a lot of resistance. So places that are really sensitive for me are my neck, right? Right here next to my Adam's apple, it's extremely sensitive. And these razors typically remove the stubble faster, easier, and with less resistance and less irritation on the daily. That's just how slants work for me. They were kind of a magical solution, a Magico solution, right? Because when I found them, I was really struggling here with a lot of highly aggressive razors because I needed something more aggressive to knock it down and keep it down. But at the same time, I was getting a little bit of irritation. Slants kind of fixed that overall for me, and they made it so that when I'm trying to get through like 4 or 5 days of really coarse stubble, that it comes off nice and smooth and without irritation. Okay, that's for me. It doesn't work that way for everybody. I want to call that out because a lot of times people get their torches, and their little pitchforks, and they come here and they say, slants didn't work for me. Well, that may not be the case for everyone, but it works really, really well for me. Now, let's talk about the extreme profiles of both of these razors. The Rex Konsul razor is really developed. It was designed to provide the performance of the Rex Ambassador, but with a less blade profile, less blade fill profile overall. Whereas the Slant from YAQI, the TORQX razor, look at how wild that profile is. This is about as extreme as a slant as I've ever seen. And I use the term extreme because look at this. It's wild. It's almost alien on the skin fill here when it's going across, depending on the setting you have. I find that the two razors side by side, as I was doing my face shave today, this feels much more like a standard safety razor, right? The Konsul razor, you set it to that angle and you know how it feels 1 through 6 all the way through. It feels like a standard double-edged safety razor, even though it is a slant. So for me, the angle doesn't have to really change very much, and I'm not chasing like a certain blade fill. This feels like, like it should. This razor, as I go from 1 to 4, it feels very much like your standard safety razor. But then 4.5 all the way up to 6, it starts feeling much more like a stranger experience across the skin. Doesn't feel like this razor. I want to call that out because both razors may shave very close and very, very easily. This razor feels very different even compared to their slope. I would say this is a much more dramatic, much more extreme, right? Slant razor that once you get the hang of that angle can provide really, really close, very, very fast shaves. But it definitely, for me, it took a little bit of learning. I'm on my 4th or 5th shave here, and it's got progressively better, whereas the Konsul razor was good from the start. So I would say this is almost a razor I had to kind of experience the settings, kind of fiddle with it and figure out where I was getting my smoothest, closest, easiest shave. And I really think that's because of how extreme this angle is. Just again, I want to call that out. Thank you again for everybody that's been to the original video of our demonstration and showcase of this razor. And I do appreciate everybody understanding that those are the first impressions. Today we're getting on our 5th or 6th shave today with this razor. So I'm a little bit more experienced with it, but I just want to call this out. It's still getting a handicap because the Konsul I've got like 60 shaves with. So it's still a razor I don't know quite as well as the Konsul. The weight on this razor is 108 grams, whereas the Konsul is 106. So these two are extremely similar in weight. Price-wise, right, it's $350 minimum for this one and $200 if you can find it on AliExpress. I want to call this out because today I was visiting their website and this listing for the YAQI TORQX has come and gone a couple times. And I think that's because they're doing them in small batches, limited runs, right? They're making sure that a razor at $200 is going to sell and it's going to actually have an interest and it's going to have a community pull. And I think it has had that because it's continued to sell out. But right now you cannot buy this. I just want to call that out. It is out of stock and it is, the page listing's been taken down, but it does come and go. So the YAQI TORQX, we're going to start with that razor today on the right-hand side of my head and just start off on the, like I said, just over 3 days of growth. I love the TORQX razor. It is a razor for me that has redesigned and helped me reimagine what a slant razor can do and fill. When I first started using slants, right, I always kind of expected them to be extremely different than standard DEs, right? You imagine this razor, it comes with a slanted blade, right, that has a lot of torque and a lot of angle to it, and you think to yourself, well, that's going to shave way different. And for the most part, they really don't. They're very, very similar, which is good because you can pick one up if you're a double-edged safety razor user at all, and it's going to shave very, very similarly, but you're going to have the performance enhancement of the slant blade. And I want to call that out. That is, again, for some people. Look at how this shaves though. You can see it comes right off. Now this razor was not that way for me. I cranked it all the way up to 6 when I first got it. I said, let's go to town. Let's get a close shave. And I can tell you this, it kind of felt crazy to me. It kind of felt like something I'd never used before. And I've used several hundred safety razors at this point with everybody here. I mean, that's just on channel, right? I've used several, probably almost like 200 or 300 razors at this point. We got over 500 videos now. So we have a lot of videos and we've done a lot of different shaves. And this felt super different than anything I've used before, which kind of blew my mind a little bit. And every time I've used it, I've gotten a better and better and better and closer and longer lasting shave. Again, we're using the Derby Premium Black blades. And I want to call that out because this is a razor I've tried using really extremely sharp blades. And I'm finding my best shave, again, for me, is just really at that medium kind of aggressiveness. It's at that, like, that more, I don't know, more smooth, more easygoing blade. Take a look here. You can see it's coming right off. It is super close. This blade angle is strange. I'm telling you that it almost feels like you're getting your maximum performance towards one side of the razor and then a little bit less performance on the other side. So I almost, when I first started shaving with it, was like kind of pushing a little bit on the one side of the razor. I could feel my natural inclination was to push a little bit. And I would say if you are coming into the YAQI TORQX razor, do not push. That is my one piece of advice. Let the 108 grams guide you to smoothness, right? Take the journey to smoothness at like a very, very easy, no pressure kind of shave. Let the weight of the razor do it for you, because if you don't do that, I'm telling you this, you're not going to love the razor as much as you should. Wow. Yeah, I like this a lot. It's strange. It's unique. It produces a very unique skin feel, but I like the way it shaves quite a bit. It's very different than any of the slants or any of the other razors I have tried thus to date. It is just very, very, very easy going. Again, you have to kind of come in and find that angle. This is a razor for me, as you go from the 3 above, it becomes very much about the angle of the razor to get that very, very smooth to the, like it looks like a glass ball, right? You want to get that bowling ball look, you got to find the right angle with this razor. You can see I'm still getting some off, because for me, I actually missed the angle probably 2 or 3 different times on some of the passes. I could actually feel, so like right there on the back of my head, I could actually feel that the angle's very, very specific. Again, that's not something I really have struggled with the slope from the YAQI or the Konsul, because they're both very standard. They shave very similarly to your standard safety razor. This, for me, almost shaves very different, and I like that. I think that's nice. I think for anybody out there that's, oh man, wanting a slant shave that feels super different, that really has some performance, and it's fun to use, right? They get you excited to shave, because some of the times, at some points, right, it becomes mundane. You're like, oh, I've already done this a million times. This razor is going to have like almost a reawakening to if you really enjoy chasing something that feels new and unique. Love this one. Huge shout out to Grace and Yaqi for continually challenging what's done, for chasing and for really progressing as a company, right? Magico, the whole entire embodiment of that phrase has been done by Yaqi. We saw a company that really was producing something at the minimal level and now going for that, raising the bar. I think that they've done something really unique here. We're going to grab the Konsul and we're going to do the other side. And I honestly, I'm excited. I'm really excited to see if it can compare to what we just got with the YAQI TORQX. You saw I did a little bit extra passes with it, but that's kind of just, I'd say that's just how, when I use the razor at the more not the maxed out settings I actually am able to buff a little bit more and get a really close shave. I love this one though. The grip on this kills. If you're looking at the grip comparison here, ergonomics and the feel in the hand, the Konsul wins all day long, right? If you're owner of the Konsul razor and you're like, I love how that feels in the hand, I'm with you. It feels like a gecko in your hand. It feels like just a little teeny tiny lizard that just never wants to let go of your fingers. It just grips down. It can be covered in soap. You could be sliding around like a seal, and this is going to feel sturdy in your hand. I don't care who you are. That for me is probably one of the best safety razor design handles I have ever seen thus to date. Look at the different like the diamond knurling here. You can just see it juts outwards. It's really, really, really grippy. Huge shout out to Matt over at Razor Emporium for designing that. I love that design. It's just really cool. Feels really good in the hand. It's a little short. I want to call that out because a lot of people may buy this razor and think to themselves, it feels a little small in my hand. Keep in mind, it was designed after the Gibbs razor that also, because it was a French razor, is actually very, very short. It doesn't mean it's a bad weight or anything like that in the hand as far as weight distribution, but I do want to call out that it feels a little different than like a 4.5-inch handle. I like the smaller handle, and it kind of grew on me. It was one of those things that I started like as a wet shaver and said, I need a long handle. And then I've gravitated towards liking the smaller ones. Gives you a little bit more angle manipulation, gives you a little bit more consistency in like tight spots, right? You can get around and you can change the angle of the head without having to fight it. It's funny because I used to just preach long handles were the solution. And as I've gone, and gotten more experience and shaved here with you guys, I've really come to love a shorter handled razor. And this is short and it is stout. It's got a lot of heft to it in that little teeny tiny frame. I think it feels very premium. I think it feels extremely expensive. And again, it was really to redefine what a slant razor could do for me as an adjustable. I loved the design of this razor. It was a razor when I saw it released, right? I said, I got on the pre-order. I jumped on as fast as I could. It was a razor I could not wait to get my hands on. And I think Matt is now offering it in a bunch of different variations, right? It used to be you could only get this in machined, and they've gone all the way now up to using, they'll offer it in a coated. You can get it in a two-tone coated, and the price reflects it. Now, I want to call that out because a lot of people out there are going over to that website right this moment and they're saying, is it really worth $350? That's kind of up to you. I would say that the machining that they went to, the effort they went to creation of the design, right, to bringing this into like the in existence, right, that took some effort, and it's actually made all on our side of the country in the States. So it's a company you can trust. You aren't worried about getting to you irreliably, right? It's going to come and it's going to look and shave as good as this one does in my hand. Love this one from Matt. It is very good, very comfortable, very easy to use, very easy to find the angle. And I want to call this out because a long time this was my goat razor as far as slants go, and it gives me a shave. I honestly can't shave 2 days later, right? I'm still close. And I love that about this razor. It's a razor I can pick up, consistently get a good shave, and then next day later, it's still a good shave. So I like this one a lot. As far as like the side-by-side here, if you want something that feels really, really different, this one's got it going for it. But if you want something that's reliable, consistent, with a little bit more blade feel, and I want to call that out because the YAQI TORQX is very, like, I would say low, medium aggressive, even in the upper settings. This starts at medium aggressive and it stays there, right? It never changes in blade fill. 1 through 6 for me. The maximum is probably a little bit more, but it stays pretty consistent all the way out. It's linear, whereas this feels more exponential. I just want to call that out. This feels much more parabolic. As you crank it, it feels like it goes whoop, as far as blade fill goes. Really, really, really interesting. We're going to get dried off here and we're going to grab ourselves a little bit more lather and we're going to do a battle pass. I'll see you guys in just 1 second. You see this? Phenomenal, absolutely awesome shave soap today. Thick, rich, it goes on so dense, but tons and tons of slickness. Really nice water bend. Love that. Again, huge shout out to Andy for pairing up with Shannon and bringing us out all something absolutely phenomenal. Let's start some battle passes here. We're grabbing ourselves the Konsul. Again, no changes to the settings or the blades, and we're just gonna start going on the side that we did the YAQI TORQX and see if we can get anything off. The shave, for me, it feels different. It definitely has a different skin feel. Take a look how it comes off though. You can see here, no stubble whatsoever coming off in that lather swipe. Really, really easy. Very, very nice shaving razor. Extremely expensive, but again, for me, was a very natural, very enjoyable way to kind of get into a less aggressive feeling shave that can take off really, really, really dense, thick coarse stubble. Love, love, love the Konsul razor. Again, very, very natural in my hand. It does come with a little bit more blade fill, but I want to call this out because I had some people reach out to me recently that said, oh, the Konsul's super aggressive. I don't think this razor comes across as super aggressive, in my opinion, right? Coming from the Rex Ambassador razor, I think this feels very, 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 very reduced as far as blade fill goes. I know that I may get a little bit of hate for that because I've had people say, oh, it's super aggressive. Again, aggressiveness, I think really is kind of I think it's a hard term to use because it takes so many things into account. You know, your skin, your stubble, it takes your, your different, where you're shaving, the location. On top of that, you have like your lather quality, you're going to have your blades, the weight of the razor. There's so many things. Are you putting pressure on it that can dictate how a razor shaves and how aggressive it feels on the skin? Again, for me, this is probably more of the medium level, whereas the Rex Ambassador razor is extreme. I would say it's at the max or the top tier or upper echelon for aggressiveness. You know what I mean? So this for me, I like that it was a reduced blade fill, and I do tend to get a very, very close shave. Take a look here. There's nothing coming off. And I want to call that out because for me, I think if I had tried this razor side by side with the YAQI, I would have absolutely obliterated it on my first shave. Second shave, it would have gotten a little bit closer. By this shave, right, we are now to the point where this razor and that razor are shaving very, very similarly. And that's what I think it should be, right? Even though it shaves different, it shaves at a different angle, and it has a different skin fill to it. I think that you should be able to produce a shave that's consistently even with the other one and at $100 cheaper. I want to call that out. It is a lot, $150 cheaper to buy the YAQI TORQX. It's stainless steel, full polish. And if you end up actually ordering a Konsul and polish, it's going to be more like $200 cheaper to buy the YAQI TORQX. So for $200 cheaper, you're getting a razor that is very, very nice. It's well made. I like the slant mechanism on it, and I like how it shaves as far as consistently side by side. It does not feel the same. It does not feel the same, but both razors, right, are giving me the marshmallow vibes, right? A spoonful of the goodness. I used to talk about it a lot on our channel, the 3 C's, cost, closeness, and comfort. And I think both of these razors absolutely are like bringing it, right? They give just such an enjoyable, easy, very, very comfortable shave with not a lot of effort. But I do think when it comes down to form and knowing how to make that razor work well, I think the Konsul is actually a little easier to use day to day, especially if you're coming from a safety razor, right? I think this razor feels very much like your standard, whereas the other one, it took me a little bit of learning. And I just want to call that out. It's not a bad thing at all. But as far as like side closeness, the cost, closeness, and comfort, right? Comfort, very good on both sides. The cost, you have a pretty big margin. And the closeness, right? I would say very, very similar. So after you've learned the razor, after you've learned how to use the TORQX, it can produce a shave. Look at this. So close, so easy, and absolutely both razors worth chasing, in my opinion. I love both of them. They're both razors I will pick up on the daily. I will gravitate towards using over other razors, and I like using these ones more than just about any other razor on the market just because I like the slant mechanism. They are hefty, they are fully adjustable so that you can kind of design and kind of change the shave to fit your skin for the day. And wow. The cardamom and the lavender and the oak moss all are there. And at the very back of it, you get the cedarwood. And the cedarwood gives it that very familiar, like, queen scent, right? That scent that says, oh, I've experienced this before. But then you get the lavender, it kind of comes out and it says, I'm different, I'm unique, I have a little bit more floral tone to me. And then the oak moss makes it kind of more well-rounded and it just makes it more green. I'm going on a little bit more. We're splashing it on, not because we need it, because we want it. It smells so good. It absolutely smells premium. It smells sophisticated. It does have like that bold, like I'm unique kind of scent to it, and I like that a lot. Chasing success and transformation, El Mahi Co. We got it, and it was absolutely awesome. Huge shout out to Andy and Shannon again. Awesome shave soap and beautiful scent profile. And the shave today, it was phenomenal. I hope this helps. I hope this was at least informative and enjoyable for all of you out there that are researching about slants and maybe the new YAQI TORQX and wanted to see it side by side on the Konsuls. If you would, please go below. I'd love to hear from all of you in the comments. And until I see you down there, Subes out.